Hello, thank you for tuning into this section of reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. This should be on the YouTube channel James 13 Wicca. I will put the information like the decks and the dice below. And other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. I'll repeat this at the end. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aries? Apparently I'm in a rush to get these out here. Okay. There's your card coming up. You also have the Justice, Strength, the Devil. So you're the Emperor, Justice is Libra, Strength is Leo, and the Devil is Capricorn. Doesn't have to mean you're dealing with all these different types of people, but there could be something where there's a few different types, few different people involved, and they could have these tendencies. Like Leo is a do. Aries tends to get along with Leo. Libra is kind of like, let's sort it out, let's get the truth out there, but they're very diplomatic. That can be sometimes challenging for Aries. Aries is very much about the truth, but they're like, let's just deal with it. Let's put it right out there. Libra's also about the truth, but they're kind of like, let's be more smooth with it. Smooth. And then Capricorn's like, listen, it is what it is, and I'm not putting up with it. You're not going to get me to change my mind. So there might be all these different energies along with your own going on. Just it could be all of this coming in together. The situation overall, though, it does seem to call for a lot of diplomacy. Diplomacy. All right, I got a couple more. I didn't realize I didn't put these out until just now. That's it? Just 3? Okay. I guess we're not going to do as many of it. It's fine. Whatever the situation is, I feel like maybe up until this moment, I've been a lot happier. I felt a lot stronger. Whatever's coming in, there's a change here, and I'd rather just deal with it. Because up until this point, it was pretty good. I feel like I'm making that too simple. It moved forward, and you felt like you knew what it was. Was it the most efficient? No. Did it go forward without a hitch? Definitely not. But it's one of those things, it's kind of like having an old vehicle. I knew how to make it run. I knew how to get where I wanted to get. I knew what I could depend on it for. And I knew how to upkeep it. And then something unexpected happens. I was happy with it because I was like, yeah, but I knew what to expect from it, so I was fine with it. This situation, I keep getting, I don't know why I keep like drilling this home, but it does kind of call from some diplomacy. Aries can be very direct. I'm going to say this as a person, I do have some notable Aries placements, and I've been told before that like I get right to it, and sometimes that jars people, and I'm like, I think that's an Aries quality. Just right to it. Just bing. I'm like, why can't we just deal with it? Why can't we just deal with it? Why do we have to play funny, happy? Let's just get in there. Like, it's broke. Let's just admit it's broke. And then look at where it broke. Why do we have to talk about, well, something went wrong and things aren't what they should be and things happen and blah, 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 blah. And 2 days later, it's like, well, if the vase broke, why couldn't you just say the vase broke? But this situation is kind of like, we got to kind of talk about it nicely and relax people, let them know something needs to be fixed and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I'm getting this kind of like, can't we just deal with it? Not everybody in this situation is going to react the same. And it's going to be, depending on how it's brought forward, it could prove to be more of an issue than it should. Because some people, when they're jarred with the truth, they recoil and they just hold their ground and they will not budge. Doesn't matter if it's right or not. Doesn't matter if it helps them or not. It just happens. So going into it with a little bit more diplomacy could keep things from getting stuck. And I think that's why they're kind of pushing this. You might come forward and be like, let's just put it right out there. But by doing that, there might be a backlash where things get stuck for a couple months. which you do not want, is what I'm getting. Versus it comes in with a couple diplomacy. It may take 2 days to actually talk about and get to the actual problem, but nobody like holds their ground over it. People accept it better, and we don't get stuck for 2 months. We keep moving. It may slow down a little bit for a moment, but it never stops, and then we get back up to speed versus losing 2 months worth of progress. And I know the Aries is very strategic. I feel like the way I just put it, because it made sense to me, and I almost feel like somebody told me that. Like over to the side, they're like, this is why that's better to do it that way in this situation. And I'm like, all right. Because whatever's coming forward, I don't like it. It does upset the apple cart. But they're saying the more graceful, in this situation, it may be like letting somebody else kind of handle it if possible, if applicable. If you're like, I'm just not up for doing that little dog and pony show, I'm just not up for it, maybe somebody else can step in and do it for you. Possibly. It's a general read. Take it with a grain of salt. Especially if it's a work situation, because those things blow up before you know it. 10 of Swords is reversed. This doesn't have to go to ruin, but it's the way it's coming in. The 10 of Swords is kind of like this. Like, it doesn't have to, but depending on how you handle it, it could become an issue. We could have an issue. Magician also is coming in with that, but the Magician comes right like this. You're more in control than you realize. You have more say over the situation than maybe you realize. Do you have total control? No. Do you have say over the things you want say over? Maybe not. But you do have more control to help the flow move forward than you realize. That's the point. If this part goes fairly smoothly, there's something coming in with, this is a healing card, but I keep getting corrections or repairs. Something about corrections, repairs, procedure updates. I don't know what's going on with that. It almost feels like it's a computer program, so I don't know what that's about. Things are coming in here. Things are going to help this situation. Like, it's not just let's fix it once and wait till we have to deal with it again. Because I can see where the Aries energy would be like, if we're gonna be all sweet, nice, and then it just happens again, you just wasted my time. I'm not looking for that. It needs to be fixed correctly this time. And they're getting, somebody else is gonna come in afterwards and reevaluate and realign the situation. This seems like it's a third party energy here, kind of like, just so that doesn't happen again, we're gonna have situations handled in a certain way, in a more smooth manner. Smooth. Is Aries going to be able to see that? Because like I can see where that would be like, I need to know that that's going to work right. I don't know for sure. No. Okay, the answer is no, whether I like it or not. No, you're not going to see that. That's going to be a problem, isn't it? Okay, so I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a problem because Aries is not showing up to just repeat problems. We're here to fix it. Let's fix it. It is kind of getting ironed out behind the scenes a little bit. Your moment's going to come forward where you have a moment to kind of decide what you want to do next. It would make sense why you want to go back and look at things and make sure that they're actually lined up to where they should be so we don't repeat this problem. This isn't going to work that well this time. It's going to just, it's like we're going backwards and we're going to get stuck again. It's kind of like, even though we use so much diplomacy to get this far and to not lose our momentum, this could bring us back to that square and we could end up still having that 2-month lag, the 2-month block that we really don't want. An option is for you to lead forward to where you want to go, and kind of like, you know what? I got good things in front of me. I've got good things in front of me, and I don't really want to be bothered with that anyway. I'm just gonna let this be their problem. Full speed ahead for me. I'm gonna let things be good. I'm gonna keep my eye on that. You'll probably keep checking on it a little bit here, a little bit there, but it's kind of like, all right, we'll see. And it might be kind of like, you know what, if it comes back, it's gonna be twice as worse for these people because I'm not gonna be nice about it the second time. I may have been nice about it the first time, but that's it. And you're lucky to get that. this comes around, you're going to regret it because I'm going to be twice as bad as I would have been the first time. Wise leader, keep moving your energy forward. Go for where you want to be in relation to the success about that you're going to attain for yourself. And I understand that there may be like, well, that's this part of my success because I don't want to be repeating problems. For the short time frame, it's just kind of like saying, keep moving forward, focus on what you want that you can actually change, that you could actually handle, that you're actually going to do. Less on other people, more on what your other things. More on you, less on other people. What's the outcome here? Things stabilize for you. You're going to see it later. You're going to see it later. Because people are going to be acting different. And at first you're going to be like, that's interesting. But then you're going to realize, and they're not causing the problems they caused before. That's interesting. They figured that out all on their own? Or did they? Or did they? You're going to figure it out later. It's not like this is just going to go into oblivion and you're never going to know if it actually got corrected. You will later, but it's going to be one of those things where they're not making that mistake again. I'm really surprised they learned their lesson because I thought they kind of got away with that, but maybe they didn't. Because it's like they're not making the same mistakes and they don't seem to be too happy about it, as if, they don't really have a choice. So you're going to see the outcome with that. Like they're stuck. They have to do what they're supposed to do, and the situation will work out correctly. There's a little bit more possibility, like just keep moving. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't even address it if you don't feel like you have to. If there's something you have to address, you're going to address it. That's just how it is. But if it's just kind of like curiosity, keep your energy moving. Just keep your energy moving like you have been. Just keeping it moving is fine. I wouldn't get caught up in the details. I just feel like that's like opening a door that I don't need to open. It's kind of like, it's kind of like when you work at a certain place and it's kind of like, well, I don't have anything to deal with that area, but it's kind of like I kind of want to open the door because something doesn't seem right. And it's kind of like if you open the door, they're going to expect you to clean up whatever's in there. It's kind of like, maybe I just won't clean it. Maybe, just leave it. That's not my department. And I'm sorry, but I'm very much a believer in not my job. Like, you don't get paid to do everything in the world. Not my job, not my problem, not my monkeys, not my circus, however that goes. Nope. That's an idea for that part. If you get that far, it's kind of like you're going to know it corrected. I just won't get caught up in the details. If you can get past it without getting caught up in the details and just enjoy your life, listen, do that. Just do that. Oh, I'll ask. If you decide to get the details, where does that go for Aries? Four of Swords reversed and the Hierophant. Not only could that go bad, but that could stick around for quite a while. There could be some repercussion for that. I feel like this is why they kind of pushed me to roll the dice on that. The Four of Swords reversed could be like the undoing of a correction. It could be there could be an undoing of a correction by doing that, and it could get things stuck. Sometimes when you call people out and they know, then you get enemies, and then people have their vendettas or their revenge mindset. If this reading is hitting, I'm just saying I wouldn't. You got to do what you think is right, but they're saying you might end up causing an issue that you don't want, and it could undo some progress that you want to keep. Keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.